In this video, I'm going to be sharing the 10 most important habits when it comes to increasing your testosterone naturally. Now, all of these are incredibly important and beat out every other habit or testosterone boosting supplement you see on the marketplace. But I'm still going to rank them from SSS rank, which is the things you can't do without, to S rank, which is you're really just a silly goose if you're not doing them, and you still need to be doing them. The first and most important one is going to be sleep. If you like this picture of Sleepy Ronnie, we can be friends. But sleep is the most important because it's where you uh, establish, it's basically where you establish homeostasis for all other processes in your body. It's where your nervous system recovers. It's where you produce most of your hormones, but especially testosterone. All the signaling that goes on between the glands in your brain and your testes, the signals for the Leydig cells in your testes to make testosterone happens while you sleep. So it's critical that you get enough sleep. What you need to be doing is focusing on getting enough quantity and quality. So what that means is getting 7 to 9 hours a night and setting up your sleep environment so that you can sleep well. That means cold room, dark room, quiet room, and going to bed at a regular time every night. Your body likes consistency, it likes stability, and if you have a consistent bedtime, it'll be that much easier for you to be healthy, and anything that improves health will also increase testosterone, directly and indirectly. Now, number 2 is going to be nutrition, and I have 2 different parts of this. The first is going to be eating micronutrient-dense protein sources, things that are rich in animal fats, like steak, eggs, oysters, and even fatty fish. Fatty fish for the omega-3s, but steak and red meat is critical to you having not only optimal health, but optimal testosterone with plenty of iron, protein, B vitamins, selenium, and then there's even some androgen receptor sensitivity upregulation that goes on when you. I can dumb this down more, but it basically means you're better able to use testosterone when you eat steak and you produce more. So it's a goated food when it comes to becoming a more high testosterone man. The second one is going to be eggs. Eggs have cholesterol. Cholesterol is what is converted into testosterone. So you need it to have high testosterone. And then third is going to be zinc. Not zinc, oysters, which have a lot of zinc. And that's also quite critical for you having enough testosterone from on multiple fronts. So have steak, eggs, and zinc. When I boosted my testosterone to 1,500 nanograms a deciliter initially, I wasn't eating any oysters. It is not they are not crucial, but they do make a huge difference, and I recommend adding them into your diet. Number 2, and this is what a lot of people get wrong, is eating enough carbohydrates, fruits, and vegetables. You need to think holistically. You do need it's critical that you have steak, eggs, fish, and even oysters in your diet. However, if you only have that in your diet, you're going to also have low testosterone, and you are going to decrease your metabolism and the production of hormones all throughout your body. Give your body enough carbohydrates and make sure you're fueling your body with enough micronutrient-dense carbohydrate sources like roots, fruits, and veggies. And if you really need to eat more calories, then just have things like rice that are easily digestible. Your body needs carbohydrates to be healthy. They are the ultimate energy source. And I don't care what anyone keto says or carnivore says. It's just an easier way for your body to make glucose, which is an easier way to get energy than going the roundabout way of just eating fat. No, Michael Phelps, I wanted to be a pro swimmer when I was younger. Michael Phelps was on keto for a reason. No, nobody in the NFL is on keto or carnivore for a reason. If you believe that you don't need carbohydrates, then you've been psyoped. Congratulations. These are all going to be maybe I shouldn't do that one yet. You didn't see where I was going to put that. No, you did not see where I was going to put that. We're going to go to S rank right now. And remember, this means that it's still a worthwhile thing to do. But if we're talking like crucial, we're going to talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness is the number one way you can reduce stress. Making your life more peaceful, removing problems and stressors that make you chronically stressed. So this involves constantly living in the past, thinking about negative thoughts, embracing negative emotions, negative relationships. You want to cast all that out and Be as present as you possibly can at all times. All of your problems exist in your mind. So work on your mindfulness and work on not being stressed, because stress will drive you into the ground as an organism. Eustress, which is basically just enough stress to give you an adaptation to become stronger, essentially, or acquire an adaptation to overcome that stressor better in the future. But then there's chronic stress, which is when your body just gets overwhelmed and it starts to regress. That kind of stress is not what you want. And if you're not careful with your mind and being too worried about bills, remember, all your problems exist in your mind, which is why I'm saying mindfulness. If you're not practicing that, you are going to drive yourself into the ground. So what you want to do is practice mindfulness. And if you really struggle with it, set aside some time, maybe half an hour every day, to practice meditation, where you don't think about any of your problems. You're just completely present. This can be on a walk. This can be reading a book. It could just be sitting down and breathing. But as you get better at that, your brain will actually become stronger and you will be way less stressed. There you go. Number, what is this, 5, is going to be your body fat percentage. Now, if you have too much body fat, you're going to have lower testosterone. This is both directly because having excess body fat increases aromatase, which converts excess testosterone into estrogen, which you don't want as a correlation mechanism, just because in general, if you're lean and you have a lot of muscle and you have a good VO2 max, you're also going to have higher testosterone because you're engaging in behaviors that do that. But directly, having too much of a high body fat percentage will decrease your testosterone, and it is not good for you to have a more androgenic phenotype. So what this means is just be a healthy body fat percentage, about 15% body fat, where you can see your abs, but you're not so lean that you're driving your testes into the ground. Testosterone is the molecule that it's all hormones signal information, and testosterone is an expensive hormone. It's that allows us to thrive in the areas of survival and replication. And I'm mainly talking about the survival stuff in this video, your own progression as a man. But you need to understand it's a molecule that helps you become stronger for the purposes of survival and replication. I mean, as a man, your value is more based on survival, which is what it helps you do. And if your body fat percentage is too low, you're signaling to your body that it needs to start to conserve energy. And so it will start to reduce your testosterone in order to preserve energy. Your body likes to preserve energy, and you need to be signaling to your body at all times that you are in an abundance of energy by expending energy and consuming energy, breathing in and breathing out. Trying to get out of this by eating less and doing less is actually not conducive to you having higher testosterone, even if you're lean. So make sure you're eating enough calories and burning enough calories. People get that all wrong. They're like, okay, I'm going to be high testosterone just because I'm lean or I have a good body fat percentage. When in reality, you're much worse off by consuming 2,000 calories a day to be shredded than you are if you're and not doing cardio than you are if you're eating 4,500 calories a day, burning calories like an absolute machine, doing tons of cardio. There's just no way around it. If you're also skipping cardio just because you can be leaner by eating less, you're a moron. I hate to say it, but cardio is incredibly important. So that's the next thing we're getting into, which is cardio. When I started getting into test maxing and started going to the gym and trying to get jacked, I would do cardio, and everybody would ask me, why are you doing cardio? It's going to burn your muscle. It's going to burn your muscle? I was more jacked as a swimmer than most gymbos are. And I was doing 15 to 20 hours of cardio a week. Now, is that excessive? And could that possibly drive your testosterone down? Yeah, if you're under recovering and you're silly with how you're eating. But it just goes to show, like, you, you should be doing enough cardio. And, you're going to be, you don't have to do what Michael Phelps did, or even what I did in college. All you got to do is half an hour of low intensity, steady state cardio a day. And even that's on the low side. I would aim for like 5 to 10 hours a week if I could coach everyone. If you do half an hour of low intensity, steady state cardio, you get your heart rate up and you're also pretty active and you go on hikes and you walk throughout the day, then that's pretty ideal. you're burning way more calories, so you eat way more calories, you're getting a lot more novel stimulus from your environment. You need cardio. It it is the foundation of your health as an organism, and you really improve every other process in your body by having better aerobic health, which happens by you doing cardio. So, do cardio. Critical for your health. Which brings me to the next portion, which is becoming spiritually pure, having a relationship with God. Do you need this to have high testosterone? No. There's plenty of people who are living sinful lives. I mean, we're all sinners, but are living sinful lives that aren't pure. They have high testosterone. But the stronger you are spiritually, the stronger you will be physically, the better you will be at executing on all these tasks. The strong, there's no separating your spiritual and mental strength from your physical strength. There's no separating being, there's no, the weakness is just weakness, and strength is just strength, right? There's the Mark Bell quote: strength is never a weakness, weakness is never a strength. Purify yourself, get right with God, live a life of godly purpose, and you will be intensely, insanely strong and have much higher testosterone. Which brings me to the next one, which is going to be a competitive lifestyle. Now, these are all critical to you having high testosterone. And I'm putting competition in SS rank because it's so crucial, but it'll fall apart if you don't have the other things in check. Like having good aerobic health, nutrition, and sleep will allow you to compete effectively. That's like your foundation as an organism. So engage in competition. We as men have been fighting to survive and replicate for thousands of years. And we feel empty without it in our lives. So David Data, highly recommend his books. If you notice that men who don't have purpose or competition in their lives will outsource that to externals and start to binge watch sports and competitions instead of actually fighting in the arena themselves. This is going to, if you are engaging in competition frequently, you are going to signal to your brain that you need to be stronger. And so it will respond by giving you strength hormones. It doesn't even have to be, I recommend learning how to fight. Every man should at least know some basic combat skills. But even if it's just playing chess or engaging in an intellectual debate, these things will all drive up your testosterone. You will become stronger and more capable because of it. Think of the quote that talks about ironing, sharpening iron. Compete. Fight to survive. Then we're going on to sunlight. The sun is, getting enough sunlight is critical, not only for your testosterone and the relationship between having higher levels of vitamin D and steroidogenesis in your body, but just for your overall health as an organism, as we've co-evolved with the sun for thousands of years. Pretty much every single aspect of you as an organism can be regulated by the sun, from your metabolism to your hunger to your energy levels, which, I mean, I said metabolism, but like, I mean, how you feel, to your sleep. It's all regulated by the sun. So spend time outside in the sun every day. If you need to, swim in the sun, run in the sun, spend time outside on your calls or when you're talking to your friends, do that in the sun. But this can easily be implemented by just not being a dude who has his entire life spent living indoors. Get a life where you are doing things outside, kayaking, hiking, running, swimming, just going on walks, like anything outside, spending more time in the sun, getting that exposed to your skin is going to increase your testosterone and your health. And the last one, and my most favorite one, is going to be strength training. Now, do you have to be Clarence Kennedy squatting? What is that? Like 650, 600 pounds? Ass to grass for a pause? No, you don't have to do that, but you do need to be engaging in progressive resistance training on a regular basis because it increases your testosterone in the short term and in the long term, directly through to increase your testosterone production. But there's also things like androgen receptor sensitivity, upregulation that happens as you lift weights more. And as you have more muscle, it's going to be easier for you to be lean. You're going to have more active tissue, which means you're going to burn more calories, which means it'll be easier for you to be leaner and have a more androgenic phenotype. So it's going to be easier for you to be high testosterone as you get older. You'll have more muscle mass. You will be healthier. You have increased bone density. Start lifting weights and get really strong. If you do all of these things, you will be peak man. You will wipe the floor with everyone else. You will be your best self that you possibly can. And if you only do the ones at the top, you will be lean, jacked, and high testosterone. Keep getting better. If you implement everything in this video, you will be high testosterone. Comment any of your thoughts or questions. If you want coaching, DM me on Instagram, and be sure to subscribe.